If you've discovered you're codependent and maybe you feel a little despondent because you spent a lot of years being codependent and you feel like you've wasted that time, well, I wanted to give you a different perspective and maybe you can reframe how you view your life journey in codependency. Joseph Campbell was a famous writer and talked a lot about the hero's journey and about myths and how they're important in our lives. And there's a video of him that I'm going to link below in this video where he talks about a famous saying that goes something like this, that if you are going into the forest and there's a path already there, that's not your journey. That's not the path that you're meant to be on. And that for me brought a lot of comfort because I've made a lot of mistakes in my life and I lived in codependency, didn't realize I was codependent. I pursued things that society tells you to pursue. And then later on, like for instance, higher education in ways that it's supposed to make your life better and taking out student loans and then the economy goes in a whole different direction and we're living in different times, right? But you kind of feel like you've made a lot of mistakes. You didn't know any better. And then there's some times where you just, as the saying goes, you made the best decisions with the information you had at the time. But here you are now on your journey, on your hero's journey. And it doesn't have to be some grand overture. It doesn't have to be some grand display, but this is your path in life, right? And you can look at it as your own hero's journey. We spend a lot of time fantasizing, looking at movies. And then as we become adults, we realize that a lot of that was fantasy. But there's a lot of truths that can be found in fantasies, in the old writings, in the old stories of the hero's journey. And if you reframe your life as a hero's journey and appreciate all your life experiences, where you came from, how you grew up, the things you experienced, and you find yourself now in a place where you feel maybe lost, you feel like you wasted so much time. We can't get back that time, but what we can do is reframe our life. Look at where we are now. Think about what we can do now, thinking about how we can live our lives moving forward. But going back to the hero's journey, that gave me a lot of solace in thinking about the regret that I had and thinking that I should have done what everyone else did, right? And I wouldn't have made the mistakes that I made had I followed the path that everyone else has chosen to live. And I viewed their lives as perfect. And if I would have done that, I could be living the life that I want to live now. But the reality is we are where we are, right? And we have to look at it as a blessing if we can have that self-awareness that we weren't living the life in the past that we should be living or should have been living. And now here we are on this journey, stepping into the forest and realizing that that wasn't our path, that path that's there that everyone else followed wasn't for you, wasn't meant for you. You had to find your own way, had to find your own path. Learn your own lessons in your life so that you are where you are now. And now moving forward, appreciate that you have a self-awareness of all your mistakes, of the lessons learned in your life. And maybe there's still a lot of lessons learned that you haven't discovered yet, that you don't realize there were a lot of valuable lessons in there, just waiting for you to kind of reflect and appreciate them. Not spending a lot of time on reflecting, because reflecting to a certain point is counterproductive. It's going to bring you down. It's going to change your mood. It might make you depressed. It might make you sad. So you want to be able to reflect, take the lessons learned, and then move forward, move on. But appreciate the journey that you're on in your life, whatever it is. If you spent a lot of time, a lot of years in codependency, don't look at it as time wasted. Look at it as there was information there that was available to you that you weren't ready for. There were lessons there that you weren't ready to experience, that you weren't ready to hear. You just weren't in the place to accept the truth. But now you're here. And now with the truth that you have, you can feel empowered. You can say, now is my time to experience life as I want to, as I should experience it. And it doesn't mean that now that you have this self-awareness that maybe you've overcome your codependency or you're now realizing you were codependent. But it doesn't mean that life isn't going to be without challenges. We're always going to have challenges, but now we can deal with them better. Letting go of those regrets, starting where you are now with what you have, with the information you have now, and thinking now as you move forward that as you learn new things, you can ask yourself and be willing to accept facts and truth, that you can integrate those things into your life now, that you're ready to accept things that maybe in the past you didn't want to hear. So appreciate this journey that you're on. Hopefully it's gonna help you have the right mindset. Let go of that regret. Appreciate all the things that you've experienced in your life so far, and maybe they're relationships that ended in a bad way, maybe work that you were in for a long time and you left, or maybe you were let go from a job or some line of work that you expected to work till you retired. Appreciate where you are in your life journey, in your unique experience, finding your purpose, thinking about what you were brought on this planet for, thinking about how many billions it takes for you to be selected, for you to be born. The odds are astronomical, but here you are. You were brought to this planet for a reason, for a purpose. However small or great, there's still purpose in it. There's still purpose in your journey, the journey that you were meant to be on, to experience, to learn, and maybe give some things back to the world. So embrace where you are in your life journey. Embrace your hero's journey. Listen to the call in your life, maybe that you've ignored, maybe that you haven't discovered yet. There's a purpose for all of us, and regardless of what it is, it can be satisfying, it can be scary, but this is why we're here. This is why we are challenged. This is why we face the things that we face, to embrace life, to experience it to the fullest, in the bad times, in the good times. So I hope this helps you and gives you some encouragement. Stepping into the woods where there's no path. Create your path. Find your way. Find your purpose. Find meaning. And appreciate everything you've experienced. I hope this helps. Stay encouraged and embrace your journey.